Have you ever donated to something thinking it would make a difference, only to wonder later, where did the money go? Well, that's the question millions of Indians have quietly asked about the PM CARES Fund. Today, we are going to break it down, not with conspiracy theories, not with noise, but with facts, law, and common sense. We'll dig into the legal structure, Supreme Court observations, transparency issues, and most importantly, what this means for you and your rights to accountability in a democracy. Let's unravel this together. In March 2020, as India braced for COVID-19, PM CARES, the Prime Minister's Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situation Fund, was born. The idea was simple. A national crisis needed rapid funding. But here's where the first question arose. Why create a new fund when the PM National Relief Fund or PMNRF already existed since 1948? The official reason PM CARES was meant to be a dedicated emergency vehicle, separate from ongoing welfare. But critics said, was it actually created to avoid RTI scrutiny? Hold on to that thought. Who owns the PM CARE Fund? Legally, PM CARES is not a government fund. Wait, what? Yes. Despite the name and the Prime Minister heading it, the trust is registered as a private charitable trust, not a public authority under the RTI. In Manohar Lal Sharma versus Narendra Modi in 2020, the Supreme Court refused to entertain a PIL questioning the legality of the fund, stating that merely because the trustees are public functionaries, the fund itself doesn't become public. It's like this. The shop's name is Government Kirana Store. The cashier wears a government badge. But when you ask for the bill, you're told, sorry, private account. No questions allowed. RTA applications seeking data on PM CARES fund usage have been denied, citing it is not a public authority under Section 2H of the RTI Act. Even the CAG, India's top auditor, was not allowed to audit PM CARES. This is crucial because the fund received thousands of crores. Public sector units and employees were urged, some say pressured to donate. Corporate donations to PM CARES qualify for 100% CSR exemption, while donations to CM Relief Fund does not. So here's a question to reflect on. If public money, public trust and public messaging are involved, shouldn't public accountability follow too? Let's talk impact. According to official press releases, rupees 2000 crore was spent on ventilators, but field reports and CAG audits of states like Punjab and Chhattisgarh showed that many ventilators were faulty or unused. Rupees 1000 crore was allocated to migrant workers, but NGOs and state governments reported minimal dispersal. One doctor in Bihar said during an interview, we had the machines, but no training, no consumables. They were just showpieces. It raises a deeper question, not of fraud necessarily, but of silence, opacity, and accountability gaps in public service delivery. From a legal perspective, this boils down to one word, voluntary trust. The government argues since PM CARES is a trust under the Indian Trust Act, it doesn't have to follow RTI or CAG norms. And so far, courts have accepted this interpretation. But here's the ethical dilemma. If the government wants citizens to trust them blindly with donations, shouldn't that trust be earned with transparency? Let me ask you a question. Would you invest in a company that refuses to show its balance sheet? This isn't just about PM cares. This is about how democracy functions. Because if a new crisis comes tomorrow, a new fund is launched, will we again be told, trust us, but don't ask us questions? It's about setting precedents. It's about understanding that in India, public accountability is not a threat. It's a foundation of real governance. Remember what Justice Krishna Iyer once said: people's faith in government is directly proportional to the transparency with which it functions. We are not here to attack, we are here to ask the right questions. And if we can ask them about the PM CARES fund, we can ask them about all areas of governance. Start with this: demand transparency in your local projects. Ask your MLA where your constituency fund goes. Write an RTI, even if it gets denied, it makes noise. Share credible sources, not forwards. Because democracy is not a gift we inherit, it's a habit we practice. If this video gave you one new perspective, don't just scroll away. Subscribe to stay informed, not just outraged. Hit the like button if you believe transparency matters, and drop a comment. Should PM CARES be audited like any other public fund? I am reading every response. Share this video with one friend who believes in questioning with responsibility. Let's build a smarter democracy, one informed citizen at a time. Take care. Bye.